Hello and welcome back. I'm really excited about this one because I think it was one of my more successful little video projects. I have two paintings that I'm really proud of. One that for some reason just didn't work out for me, and I'm hoping to go back and tackle it one day. But today we're going to be painting Jack Crawford, Mads Mikkelsen, and Beverly Katz, which I think her actress is Heidi Ann Park, maybe? Hopefully I said the name right. I'll have to look it up and put it in the description. I love Beverly. Katz is like the coolest character ever, but we'll get to her in a second. So, Jack is a totally underrated character, in my opinion. I don't think he gets enough appreciation because I think he does from the fans, but just in general, like the common folk, I really feel like they don't see how awesome Jack is. He is dealing with a lot, and to see what he sees and not, lose it is awesome. I think that's a really cool depiction. I also like that he's like a strong black man. He's never really vilified. Obviously, we're seeing this from like the perspective of Hannibal and Will Graham, but I really felt like Jack Crawford was an awesome character. I thought his wife was an awesome character, and so I was really proud of this painting. It's from the scene where he is actually choking the life out of Hannibal, or trying to, and I just really liked the emotion of it. The screen cap that I had and that inspired me to paint this was really dark, and so his face is really almost in this Renaissance style lighting, and I really enjoy painting that. I really enjoy paintings that have strong shadow and strong light. I think it just really gives the face such shape, and I'm really proud of the colors that I picked and the way that it turned out and how quickly there was resemblance. The likeness, even at this point, is just, it's there. You know who it is. You know it's Lawrence Fishburne, which is like so cool. Which it's crazy to think I didn't realize that he was in The Matrix. He looks so different to me, just the outfits. And then when I realized he was also in John Wick, I was like, how did I not realize that was him? I guess because I just was watching the movie for fun and I wasn't like looking for certain actors, but he's in three of my favorite things. And so I'm pro Lawrence Fishburne and I am pro Jack Crawford. I think if this was any other show, he would be the one that we are rooting for, just like Hodge from Criminal Minds. Like, I feel like we would be wanting him to win, rather than what I feel like happens in Hannibal, where you're like, oh, I hope he doesn't find out. So I'm really proud of this painting. It inspired me to try to paint Beverly Katz, but I think I made a big mistake. When I tried to paint her, I only had a few screen caps, and they were all very well lit, and they didn't have any real shadow shapes. And so when I started to paint the next painting, you can tell how much I struggled. This one came together so quickly, and I just feel like it has so much motion and movement in it, and you can really just, I don't know, there's a lot of feeling in this painting, and so I'm really proud of that. And I think I did the entire thing in the oil brush. It was just a default brush. I've been trying to get back into Clip Studio. Every time I get into it, I feel so overwhelmed by the interface that I feel like I have to walk away. But its blending tools are so much better than Procreate's and so much better than Photoshop's. And so every time that I feel like I am mentally prepared to go into Clip Studio, I always try to go in and paint because I just feel like it is such a good program for painting. Now, this is also in Clip Studio Paint, and I had some different brushes. This one, I believe the first one that I start with is called the Plein Air brush set, that I downloaded from the Clip Studio store. And I tried to do exactly what I did with Jack Crawford's painting, which was going in with big colors, big shapes. Unfortunately, I don't want to blame the brush. But I do feel like there was something different about this painting. I wasn't able to get the shapes, I wasn't able to get the likeness, and so pretty quickly I stopped. I say pretty quickly, I wasted probably 40 minutes trying to like get some shapes and then walked away and decided, okay, I need to get a better base, a better structure. And if you're ever wondering, do I need a better sketch for this painting? The answer is always yes, have a better sketch. I know Sketches of Shay just came out with a video, and that was something that she actually talked about in her Clip Studio sponsored video, is that references are great, we should use them. And I also have found from doing actual commission work for people that are local that I do best when I have multiple photos. So I really think I would have done better on this portrait if I had gotten some other photos of cats from different angles. I really struggled with the way that her eyes were set in this angle, and I struggled with getting her lid to look correct, and I ended up just really losing the likeness. And I actually cut this off pretty early because I took it even further and tried to fix the face, but it just ended up being really strange, and I just shrank it quite a bit, and I really lost the likeness. Right here, I think there's a likeness. I think upon further review, I could have lowered the eyebrow and maybe just fixed the nose. I think maybe the nose is just slightly off, and I think it would have been fine. I think the 3/4 quarter view beat me and was the champion in this competition this time, but I do think that there's a likeness, and I think I should be proud of that because it's actually the first time I've ever drawn Beverly. And so I'm pretty proud of that, because if I looked at the first time that I ever drew Mads Mikkelsen, I know that I would be so embarrassed and feel so cringy because it looked terrible and it didn't look anything like him. And so I think really this is a success. Now, after this, I do, and these are in order of how they were painted. So Jack was painted one day, then I tried to tackle cats, and then I went back to Mads Mikkelsen, which is the drawing that you're going to see now. And I really wanted to do a webcomic and have one of the characters kind of have a resemblance to him. And so this was me trying to create a character that looked like him, but didn't look like Hannibal or any of his other characters that he had played. But I did kind of want to take his likeness and see if I could create an original character based on that. I go through some sketches and decide to get 3 different photo references and draw each of them and see what that gave me. Now, I ended up being so successful with this. I was really proud, and it's actually my profile picture on most of my social medias. Something about the drawing was very loose and had a resemblance and a likeness with so few lines and so few colors. I think I only used 3 colors in the final drawing, and I was just really proud of it, so I wanted to share it online with you guys as well. So you can see here, I start by sketching out some different photos. I went ahead and wrote up there I was using the dull pencil brush. I've noticed that with my ADHD, even when I'm medicated, I struggle to remember little things like what I used, what pencils I was using that day, what colors I liked, the progress or the process that I did, which is really why I enjoy making these videos. It's helpful for me to go back and see the process and be like, oh yeah, that's how I did that. Like, for example, I realized today with the Jack Crawford painting, I think it was successful because I started out dark and then went lighter. Whereas I think the cat's painting was unsuccessful because I started out light and tried to build up to darks, which in my everyday life, when I'm traditionally painting, I paint in watercolor, and that is the way that I build colors in that medium, and it works out great and it looks wonderful. However, I believe in my digital art process that I should be going the other direction. I think I should be starting with darks and building up to lights. I also wanted to say I'm really proud of this little drawing because I just think it looks so cute, and I knew that when I was drawing this character, there's three characters that I really enjoy that I'd like for this original character to have a mixture of. I'd like for it to have a little bit of Mads Mikkelsen, a little bit of Bradley, the guy who played Arthur Pendragon in the Merlin series. His name escapes me. I want to say James, but that's not his last name. But anyway, and then not necessarily Jensen Ackles' face, maybe his nose, but kind of his personality in like Supernatural and some of the different shows that he's played. I just think he has a fun personality, and so I just kind of wanted to mix them together and create a different or new original character. And I really felt like I was able to do that in this, and you guys haven't seen them yet, but I have a lot of new sketches in my sketchbook based on these new original characters, and I'm pretty excited. So this is definitely going to turn out well. I really like the way that this one is looking right now. I noticed that I struggle a lot with getting eyes placed in the face so that they look natural and don't look so animated or odd with the rest of my realistic style. And so I did struggle, and I think I eventually go back and I'm able to fix it, but the last drawing that I do turns out the best, and I go back with a smaller pencil. I use lighter lines, and I really try to get the base of the face shape down. You might be wondering, what's this webcomic about? Well, if you watched my building a novel video, then you already know. I'm thinking I want to put my characters into a webcomic rather than a novel because it's a way for me to continue pursuing art without necessarily going all in, and kind of having a hobby that includes both of my passions, so writing and art, especially because I think I'm going to go back into teaching, and so I don't want to do away with art and forget about it, and I think a webtoon could be a fun way to keep that going even if I'm not able to work on it very often. So at this point, the characters have mostly been created. I am still thinking about how I really want their personalities to be, but I know that I want him to be goofy, but down to earth, serious, but funny. He's kind of your character that's going to be really the foil to Grimm, and Grimm is very much a sour, um, not that he has a reason to be, but he's just kind of cranky. And so Leif, even though he's the more serious character, he kind of comes off as more relaxed, more goofy, and it's a good way to play with the different personality types. Now, I absolutely love the color scheme that I came up with for him. He looks so good in it, and I think that this style of this particular portrait that I'm working on at this moment, I think this color scheme and this style of pencil work is what I really would like for the webcomic to be in. So not too detailed or tight, but just kind of loose enough that it's still got that painterly look to it. The color scheme that I picked for him is like a orangey pink with a peachy skin tone and just a hair color, and I love the way it looks. The unfortunate part is that I don't know that I can translate that color scheme for the other characters as well, and I'll really have to look into whether or not that color scheme can realistically be used in the comic and it actually makes sense. I think it could be used on one of the female characters, Cookie, and possibly on the other female character, but I worry if I use this color scheme on Grimm that he just wouldn't come out quite right. So I'll have to consider if there's any more colors I can add to the palette to make it really look nice. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you like the way that it looks, let me know. Like, subscribe, join me. If you like this video, you'll like the rest of them.